I would never expect to have an experience like this, to see a biblical person. You know, I mean, seeing Christ, seeing angels, but even seeing a saint was something that was very profound. It's very awesome. And as I got up this morning, in which it was maybe about like 3 hours ago, I'm still reminiscent of what I seen, and the experience was just totally mind blowing. And sometimes I wish that I can just have more of these each and every night, you know, and only God knows. I just pray that as you watch this, that, you know, that you just give him the glory, because this is not about me. This never was about me. It's just me sharing things with you to possibly build up your faith. And these experiences does come from the Father, because he can do all things. And what I'm going to tell you guys is 100% real. It's true. I'm not editing anything out of it. I'm sharing everything with you. I will be mentioning the detailed experiences. I will try to upload pictures in a way that you can see right here that, that you can see that as far as what you can, I can kind of like give you the idea of the dream, the vision that I had. So I don't want to just simply talk to you about it, but I would also like to share things with you. Sometimes when I wake up, I would try to go online and look up images to really try to match up what I've seen, and it never falls. Like it never falls into place. Like it didn't. This is so cool. The place that I was at looked at like a medieval castle, inside of a medieval castle. I've never been into any castle. There's not even a private castle here. I don't know. I've never been into one before. So this weapon that was on the wall, it looked at just like this image right here. It looked at just like this. It was like a metallic ivory. I can't really describe it. This is something that I never seen before. It's just something I know that only thing I can tell you that this was a weapon. It was about a total of maybe 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet long. And there was this creature that was on the ground. The creature, I can tell you that when I'm just thinking about it right now, it reminded me of that movie, The Thing. If you ever seen the movie called The Thing, and this alien looking creature, it reminded me of that, but it was more massive. It was big. I can tell you that maybe while it was laying on the ground, it was about maybe, I don't know, 9, 10 feet tall, but the head was maybe triple its size of mine. It was massive hair. It even had piercings like on the ears and stuff like that, like gold piercings, whatever. And it was ugly. It's something that you wouldn't want as a poster. You wouldn't want as a friend or a pet. It's something that you just want to kill. That's just what I've seen from that dream. It's something that you wanted to kill. Like it did not belong in your presence. It did not belong in your home, not in your land. It's like, it looks like a target practice. And I think that's exactly what it should have been, you know. But there was this guy that stood over it. I think he put his foot on his neck or on his chest, and he had that weapon, and he was just like beheading it, you know what I'm saying? It was like really, he was just chopping it off, you know, until it was headless. And after that, he stood in front of me. With the creature, it had like a light skin tone, you know. It was maybe like a orange, yellowish orange, something like that. It had like black, I don't know if it even had hair. It had like black hair, but it was just ugly. Like it looked like a hybrid, you know. It looked like I said, it looked just like that thing off the movie called The Thing. It looked just like that with the long neck. It was like a spaghetti looking neck it had. Body looked like it was probably twisted. It was just hideous and ugly. That's the only thing I can really tell you. Just disfigured face. But the guy that stood in front of me, the guy that actually beheaded that creature, he stood in front of me, and he was about 7 foot. I'm 6'4". He was about, I looked up to him, he was about maybe 7'5", 7'6". He had a gold crown on his head, and his appearance was radiant. He was lightened, you know. I can tell you this, as of me describing this person, he was attractive. He was very handsome. Without, you know, no side stuff, I'm not like that, but he was very, very handsome. You know, he was, and he had a white garment. It was just glowing, a glowing garment, and it looked like the the garment that angels wear. I can tell you, they looked just like that. But I knew that I was standing before King David. I just knew that was King David. I just knew it. He had a thick beard, and the color of the beard is something it was a color I'd never seen before. But I can tell you that it was kind of red. It was like a light brown or brownish red, something like that. You know, I can't really say it's a color I've never seen before. I never knew a person with a beard like that. Like, I know, you know, there's guys that dye their beard red, but his wasn't like that. It was natural, but it was like a red. It was like a brownish red. I'm not sure if I can say maroon or burgundy. It wasn't like that, but it was just red, you know, like I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, if I had a camera and I filmed it, and then I wouldn't even have to talk. You would just see it. But in his presence was like, it was just holiness. It was beautiful, but it was very protective. Like he was like a guardian, you know, like someone that can just slay anything and won't ask questions. He was that type of person. You know, when you stand in front of these people, when you stand in front of Christ or an angel or saints, you can kind of feel their personality. Even in the scriptures, you know, you can find out that in the book of Samuel that before David was called, you know, before David was anointed, he was actually watching over the flock. He protected them, and as he became king, he did the same thing. He watched over the flock. He protected the flock, which was God's people and his own people. So with that character that I have from David was that he was very protective. He was a guardian. You know, he was very passionate. Even in scriptures where he was a person that made music, you know what I'm saying? He loved the Lord. He played music, and his music comfort someone who was troubled. Yes, it was a beautiful experience. And the crown that he had handed to me, he had a crown too. I'm not sure if it was the same one he gave me, but he gave me a crown, and this crown looked just like this image here. And I find it really, really cool because when I go online, like I told you before, I try to go online and look up images and like, okay, was this is kind of like my dream, this wasn't like my dream, and I just try to show you guys like what I witnessed. When I looked up, I just happened to type in King David, and I was looking at images of King David, like, okay, he looked like this, he looked like that, you know. And a lot of Old Testament, you know, it can be prophets or kings or things like that, and they always had beards, you know. But when I looked at him, he had a crown. The crown, the two pictures that I seen of King David was this one, and the other picture was this one right here. And it was like he kind of had that same like V-shaped type design crown around his head. And that's the same crown that he gave me. It was pure gold, and it fit on my head. Now, as I received that crown on my head, I happened to just bow right before, like right at his foot. I actually bowed right at his foot. I had my knees on the ground, my hands on the ground, and my head was just bowed to the floor, like right at his feet. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. I knew it was probably out of respect. I don't know, but you know, and basically that was it. You know, I know the scripture says that he was a handsome, attractive person. I'm not sure about his height. I'm not sure if what I had seen was the David that lived on earth, or did I see his glorified body? But I know that at times that people do see someone else in the spirit. You know, they're very massive, they're big. So maybe that's what I seen was his glorified appearance. But yet, even in that place, he was still king. I don't know why I was at this dungeon type medieval castle or lair. I don't know. But the weapon that I did see was, like I said, a weapon that was unknown to me. That was something that you probably see in, I don't know, the movie Predator or something. Like, you know, I don't know. That weapon was really antique, very old. But it did the job well, I can tell you that. But yeah, it was awesome just being in his presence and just feeling his character about himself, you know. I mean, just feeling someone's character. You know how you guys maybe can stand in front of somebody or be with someone. It's just something about them that you can just be drawn to, or their trait or their personality is something about them that you like, that you can just, you don't even have to ask them, you know what I'm saying? You just know about them. And that's kind of like how it is with David. And it's like, even when I read the scriptures, I actually read the story of David, you know, and like I said, he was passionate. What I got from him, he was very passionate, was that he was very protective. He was a guardian. He loved, like he loved his sheep. And he also loved people. And he protected what he loved, I can tell you that. That's what I seen. And even in the scriptures, it's like me just thinking about it, exactly what I seen is that he was that kind of protector, you know. Even as a young kid, you know what I'm saying, he slayed a giant. Sorry about the noise, it's just the traffic outside. Yeah, man, it was really nice. It was cool. I had to dream about maybe, I don't know what time I had, but I woke up just smiling so hard, like I had that Kool-Aid smile. It was cool, like really was cool. Oh yeah, by the way, when I woke up too, it was kind of like a comparison of like, it was like it was Jesus in him, you know. I can't really describe it the best way I can. I'm gonna try to, but it was like Jesus was in him, you know what I'm saying? It was like he had that Christ trait in him, you know. And even when I think about the scriptures, that King David was actually the second king. When Christ comes, it's going to be his second coming. David exists about 1,000 years before Christ. And the scripture also says, like, you know, one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, as 1,000 years with him is as one day. And even Psalms chapter 23, which is everybody's favorite, you know, like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, he make me lie down in green pasture. You know, it's like, that's everybody's favorite. A lot of people love that. But the chapter before that, which is Psalms chapter 22, he actually spoke about Christ, his suffering and his death. And I'm like, wow, you know, like even David, you know what I'm saying, actually spoke about, you know what I'm saying, what's going to happen to his, you know what I'm saying, his descendant, you know. Like, it was just awesome, just thinking about that, because I just woke up thinking about stuff like that. Like, he spoke about David spoke about Jesus, and Jesus came from his lineage, you know. And everywhere in the Old Testament, you will always find Jesus in the Old Testament. You always will find him. You always will find him. And even almost every story, you will find Jesus in the story. Like, seriously, even in Samson, you know. I'm just thinking about Samson right now. Even though I'm just off a topic, I'm actually done with talking about the dream. I'm just thinking about like how Jesus was just all over the entire scriptures, old and of course new, but also in the old, you know. So when Samson passed, you know, his hands was actually pushed towards the pillars, and that's actually the same way that Christ died. His hands was actually out in the open. But that's the end of the dream, though. I just wanted to share that with you. I just couldn't wait to just share this with you guys. It was, I'm sorry if you see me like dazed out. I'm just still thinking about it, because like, actually it was before King David, and it was awesome. And one of these days we're all going to see him. Like, many of us are going to have experience of seeing these saints of old. But just wanted to share that with you. I know I'm off a subject like I do everything else, but I'm sorry. You guys stay up, stay blessed. I love you all. Any questions, concerns, you can just write me, ask me anything, all right? Take care.